Welcome back to That Rugby podcast done by the Sports Booth. We've got Hughesy and me back in the office.
Yep.
To dissect all that went down on a pretty big weekend of rugby union.
Big weekend.
Female Rugby World Cup on, a male Autumn Nation series, which had, I'd say, some of the biggest matches in a long time, in about a year's time. Some great footy, some very different footy going on. If you compare two results exactly the same, two 30-29s, but both very different games.
Yes.
When you see and you compare like your Wallabies against the French and the Argentinians against the English, and just different styles at play. But I do just want to start with your reaction. Obviously, you made a pretty big statement, and it wasn't a big statement as in controversial. You just said fuck the French and that you wanted to go out and beat them, as every Wallaby fan probably else was saying. How does it feel to come so close and yet it be so far away?
It's very disappointing. It feels very Wallaby-esque at this point, where it's like, it's kind of like a lot of people are taking comfort in the loss. And I'm going to quote Mike Tomlin here in that you should not seek comfort. You should seek discomfort. You should not be happy that we lost. Controversial, whatever it might be, last minute try, et cetera, X, Y, Z. Look, at the end of the day, we lost the game. If this was a Rugby League World Cup final, you've lost it. There's no comfort to be taken out of it. So, obviously, positive signs in there for the Wallabies. I called last week that I wanted to see more of Fictional involved. What do we see? Fictional involved, scores an amazing try off the back of some excellent broken play backline moves, which is something we don't traditionally see from the Wallabies. Usually we see them mess that up. But they did a really great job there, looking a bit like the All Blacks in broken field play there. So they've obviously picked up from their from our Anzac allies in this tour.
Anzac allies, yes.
So picking up some good stuff there. But yeah, ultimately at the end of the day, not enough. Again, some discipline errors. When there's that many penalties given away, both ways, a lot of penalties were given away. Yeah,
22 for the game, 11-11 split. So.
Yeah, and look, Bernard missed his first kick in forever. But then also the French missed a kick as well, so you can't even put it down to that.
Yeah, it definitely didn't come down to kicking.
Yeah.
And I must say, if I look back in that game and I go, you guys played really, really well for 75 minutes, and then for 15 seconds you switched off, and two of your better players switched off. Two of your better players in that game, Jock Campbell, Tom Wright, both had fantastic games. Both started the movement of that long-range try, and for Keddy, I think Campbell ended up with the one scooping up the ball and then passing it, and then Tom Wright gassing Pernod on the outside. And then for Damien to come back and score a try in that manner, to kind of steal or break the hearts of all the Wallabies, because you saw as soon as he scored that try, even with the missed kick, it just felt like it was out of reach now.
Yeah.
There was a lot of courage shown in that game to keep with such a good and a strong French team.
Mm.
And then when it all was on the line and the French had that lead in the dying minutes, it felt like they stole your soul.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Once your soul has been stolen, it's very hard to get it back.
Yeah, 100%. But as I said, look, there were good signs there. I thought Taniela Tupou looked a bit more on form than he had previously. And his matchup with that big French guy, I forget his name.
Cyril? Is it Cyril? Because Cyril's number one, so it must be Cyril something.
Well, not even just in the scrums, but I'm just in when they were...
General play
where they're just running at each other and slamming into each other was... it was crazy. I don't think it was Cyril. I think it was...
Other one.
Yeah. I should have his name up somewhere. But yeah, they were just running into each other like a couple of rhinos butting heads. And it was great to see. So it looked like Tupou got fired up for that matchup. Nick Frost continues to play well out of the lock position, which is great. So have a good young lock in there. I don't know. I didn't get to see all of the game, but the parts that I saw... it looked better, but it still wasn't good enough at this, which is the problem at the end of the day. You've got to be good enough, and they weren't at the end of the day, even if it was just a 15-second lapse. But the rest of the games led up to that point, and what is a game but a collection of seconds anyway? So that's it. You know?
Deep, really deep. No, I mean, Drew Mitchell says that you can't celebrate a loss. Like, if you start celebrating losses, what's the point? So, I mean, a better performance. A performance, I think, before the game, you would have said, we'll take a 1 point loss to the number 2 team, probably favourites going into the World Cup. But now looking back, you had your opportunity.
Yeah.
You felt like you missed it. On the other end of the spectrum, I feel like I've dressed for your funeral and you've dressed for my celebration. Like we've gone mixed up. I'm in the black, all black. You're in the white or cream. And I'm going to celebrate my moment because everyone had said, "Oh, the aura of the All Blacks is gone. The aura of the All Blacks is gone." That's what they said. That's what some English people said. The Welsh, we're going to beat those All Blacks. We're going to beat them. You know, everyone's doing it at the moment. It's not so easy. It's not so easy, all right? You get Geordie Barrett in at 12, like I've been saying. Bowden Barrett at the back. We looked slick. We looked much better. Still not where I'd like us to be. I think there's still improvement. We doubled their handling errors. There was still a few patches of the game that I wasn't entirely happy with. But as a performance, as an All Blacks performance to kick off this tour, it's given me a bit more hope. Yeah. Now, the All Blacks did this to us last time. They beat Wales quite comfortably last year and then went on to lose to Ireland, France. Now, we don't have Ireland, France on this tour, but it's leading up to that English game. And I don't think I've been much happier than waking up this morning and seeing the result of that English game. Yeah. And seeing Argentina go into the heart of England rugby in Twickenham and knock them over.
Look, this with the Japan effort against the All Blacks, the World Cup next year is going to be off chops. You know, you've got, imagine, like a quarterfinal or a semi-final, you get Argentina in there knocking off someone like an England or France or All Blacks, Wallabies, Springboks. Like, they've got the potential to do it. They can absolutely do it. So
the biggest dark horse. That's what I said in the review video. They are the biggest dark horses at the moment.
Dark Pumas.
Dark Pumas,
Black Panthers.
Yeah, Black Panthers. There you go. They'll be taking over the Wakanda, Argentina forever.
Yeah, Michael Checker forever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a great game, Argentina history created, going into Twickenham, getting a win. It was fantastic to wake up to because the English are so hard on everyone else, especially when they lose, when it happens in their own backyard. A lot of noise being made now, especially at Eddie Jones, and kind of going, well, what's going on here?
Yeah, look, I want to talk about this as well, this game a little bit as well, and I know we've got another game to cover, but I might sneak my star of the week in here because my star of the week comes in from this game. Put it in where
you want it, mate.
Yeah, look, for me, it's kind of a joint one this week, and they're both on Argentina. Emiliano Buffelli, but also the coach Michael Checker. Now, if you think about it out of context, I didn't realize this until today, but he was coaching the Rugby League World Cup the same week he was coaching Los Pumas to a win against England. That's incredible. That's an incredible effort. That's an incredible effort. 2 different codes, 2 different sets of players, right? 2 different tournaments. Incredible, and 2 different languages as well. Yeah. 2 different styles of coaching he's got to put in there. And look, Lebanon, they lost in their Rugby League World Cup game to Australia, but Australia didn't look great against them. They made it competitive. And then to pull off one of the biggest upsets against England is an incredible effort from Checker. But obviously the players in the field are the one that get it done, and Buffelli was the main man for Argentina. I believe almost universally awarded man of the match for his effort, scoring a try, converting all his kicks and everything like that. Just an incredible, consistent performance once again for probably the star player for Argentina. Look, I will say Artie Savia was close just because of that horrific dummy he threw that. It just sold everyone in Wales and their grandmother on it. But yeah, look, Buffelli at the end of the day, he got the game winner, and that's what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to try and argue that, even though my love of Artie runs deep in the veins.
Well known.
But yeah, what Buffelli has just done, and I went a bit deeper into this, but they lost territory, lost the possession battle, Argentina. They also had to make 100 more tackles than England.
Jesus.
And they came out on top. And I said, this is very eerily similar to a win in New Zealand, where they just put up a wall and they said, hey, you give away a penalty in the half, you know who we got?
Yep.
Mr. Bofele. And he's going to knock over 3 points, and we're going to take that scoreboard over. They're like and it's weird to say, but they're potentially could be the upgraded version of South Africa. Now, I'm saying this because South Africa's goal is get into your half, tick the scoreboard over, use our big forwards to dominate. Now, Argentina do that with a hint of flair. They go, we can just sprinkle a little bit of that Argentinian flair. You know, we got some messy footballers in our ranks.
Yeah,
they chuck that flair in there. Bang! It's a massive win for them. I'm nervous. I think they potentially fall on the other side of the draw than us, but I also think whoever's in their pool, and we were discussing this last time, I think they're in a pretty hard pool where they could
have the same pool as France, right?
Theoretically, they could knock over some people in their pool and really screw up a side of the draw that looks tough. So, I don't know. Yeah, I definitely deserve it from Argentina. Why you looked that up? I'm just going to discuss quickly Italy versus Samoa. What the hell, Samoa? You win a Pacific Nations Cup. All right, you win a Pacific Nations Cup. You beat Australia to do that, and then you go over to Italy and get absolutely embarrassed. A 33-point drumming, I think it was, to the hands of the Italians, who are ranked below Georgia at 14th in the world. For Italy, hell of a performance. They've got their first five. Paolo Gabrisi is fantastic. Actually knocked Andre Pollard out of the Montpellier starting first five gig. So is a fantastic wee player. That Italian squad, if they can keep playing like that as well, it's no walkover now. And I think you guys have them next, which will I think they've had a little bit of a tune up now, and now it's you've got to go into that game thinking pretty seriously, because I was thinking, you roll Donaldson in, you roll all the reserves in, you'll beat them by 30-odd points. Well, if they put on a performance like they did against Samoa, you'd have to watch out.
Yeah, so I've got the pool that they're in here. It's actually kind of sad because it's England, Japan, Argentina, Samoa, and Chile. So
really interesting here. England
could not make it out of
their pool again.
There is, look, it's unlikely to happen, but it could happen. It's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not like an unlikely thing. There is every chance England doesn't make it out of that pool if Japan plays the way they did against New Zealand, and if Argentina, well, we just saw them beat England, so...
In Twickenham, like now they go to a neutral venue in France and go, oh, oui.
Well, I feel like the French would not be the most welcoming to the English.
Exactly. They'll be like, Argentina, get these English out of here.
No, it's Pool A that is a pretty brutal one. New Zealand, France, Italy, Uruguay, and Namibia.
Yeah, but that's only brutal for two teams.
Yeah, it's yeah.
But yes,
Pool B is South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, Tonga, and Romania. Pool C, Wales, Australia, Fiji, Georgia, and either the USA or Portugal.
Yes. We'll jump onto that point now. USA and Portugal had big wins over Kenya and Hong Kong to really set up the way they do it is pool. So it's a pool of those four teams. But realistically, it's going to be whoever wins out of the USA-Portugal game will secure that final spot. Both of them won by, I think Portugal won by about 40, USA won by about 60. So it's going to be tight. I think they'll both win bonus points again against Kenya and Hong Kong on the other end. But yeah, that'll be a very interesting game to watch. I hope they've scheduled it right and lined that up for the last game. Shall we move on?
Yes.
To the Women's Rugby World Cup. Now, you may have not watched it. I watched it because my New Zealand team,
of course,
were in the semi-final against the French. Now, they went down early, and it was making me nervous, but they came back and showed strong willpower and strong, I guess, a bit of backbone to fight back. Last 30 seconds. I want to say last minute and 30 seconds.
Yep.
Penalty to the French from about 35 metres out in front. All right, so now, obviously, in the men's game, that's a game-winning penalty. Now, in the women's game, this is a bit different. However, the French have this first five who's a bit of a sharpshooter, got a decent punt on her, so I'm like, and the commentators are talking like this could be done. This is, she kicks it, dropped short, and she shanked it left anyway. So I was over the moon. We hold on. We kick the ball out 25-24. We go through to the final to face England, who only just overcame Canada 26-19. Scored a very similar try to your Australians in a 100-metre try in that game. It's going to be the biggest women's rugby game ever. A sellout is being talked about at Eden Park. 900,000 New Zealanders watch the semi-final. I imagine that jumps up to about 1.5 million watching the final, if not more. It's going to be a tense struggle. I don't know what to expect. These English girls are so good. They've won 28 or 29 now in a row, just about 30. They're just about the best sports team in the world. So they've got that.
Yeah.
Now what we've got is we're the defending champions. We're playing on home turf in the Garden of Eden.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a monumental matchup.
It's going to be a great game.
I actually cannot wait for it. I don't think I've been so excited for a game of women's rugby in my life.
It's going to, I look, Anzac spirit alive and well. I'm all on Team New Zealand for this one. I'm not even going to make a big deal about the name Black Ferns, even though they're not. Anyway, I'm not going there today because I'm all aboard the Black Ferns train. Look, it's going to be big. It's going to be a very big game. And look, I did like that New Zealand Rugby came out and sort of acknowledged the scheduling stuff up for the previous game, where they didn't realize against Japan, where they were like, we didn't realize that playing in the host nation has to take this spot or whatever, blah, blah, blah. A few people were a bit like, well, you probably should have known that, But, look, but that was even that was encouraging in and of itself. Was that I saw the majority of Facebook comments I saw were, well, I'm going to switch over to the women's game at halftime anyway because I want to watch them because they look so good. It's like that's great. That's a good spirit to have to support the women in their game because they deserve it. They work bloody hard and they're putting on a great show. Definitely,
and I mean, hopefully, the bigger this game is, the bigger it is for women's rugby because if this gets national, international attention. And, even for you guys, you've got a Women's World Cup coming to you guys eventually as well. Yeah. So it's going to push the spotlight onto the women's rugby game and I guess, highlight it for you guys as well and hopefully highlight it for the globe in a way that it's never been quite highlighted before, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, I've got a little thing here because I was thinking the other day and why I was thinking this, I was watching a movie and it had a Harry Potter character in it. And then my girlfriend started talking to me about Harry Potter and how we got to rewatch them all again because you've got to do that every 4 years apparently.
Yeah.
And I was thinking...
it the Cabinet of Curiosities? Did it have Ron Weasley in it?
No, it wasn't that. It was the new Enola Holmes one. And it's
who's in that?
The policeman's the werewolf.
Oh, yeah, Lupin. Yeah.
There you go. Yep. So I was thinking, and then I got into talking about Quidditch, and I thought, I wonder who would translate well from Quidditch to rugby.
Yeah.
And so what I've done is made my fictional character forward pack.
Okay.
Now, I want you to have a listen to this.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I would love some feedback. I'm going to break them down why I've selected them.
Yeah.
And then... we'll see. Now, there's got to be some thinking that I haven't made a backline here, so maybe some players have missed out because I haven't made a backline. So, in the number one position, the Thing from the Fantastic Four, the big rock creature. Yeah. He's a big lad. He's going to get my propping stable set. Good scrum. In 2, I've gone Iron Man. Mm-hmm. 3, I've gone Snorlax. Obviously, another big boy, lazy around the park. Exactly what you need in your prop. 4, Mr. Fantastic. That's easy. Stretches. Boom, in a line out. We can go as high as we want. 5, I am Groot. Similar. Easy. Yeah. Very easy. 6, I've gone with some size. A lot of people will probably want him in a hooking position, but I've gone with him at 6 because I think he'll do some real damage around the park. Yeah. I've gone with the Hulk.
Yeah.
At 7, I want my 7 to be able to do everything. I want my 7 to be like a god.
Yeah.
When you think about Richie McCaw, you put him in the same sentence as a New Zealander as God. Same with Michael Hooper.
I was about to say, the most analogous to Thor is Michael Hooper.
Hooper.
Both Aussie, both have the same hair.
Gone with 4. Yeah. So 4, Michael Hooper. Number 8, and I thought this was a good one, Maui. Now, from Moana, obviously voiced by The Rock, who did play rugby at some point, he says, in his life. So that is my 8-pack. I think quite a strong back row, like very physical.
Yeah.
A bit of height in there, and then the big boys doing the engine work. Thoughts on that, my friend?
I think it's pretty good. I'm going to try and build a counter pack to yours here. So at number 1,
Yep.
I've got the Juggernaut from X-Men.
Oh yeah, love that.
Immovable object, right? The other side, number 3, the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a pretty good one. Hooker, I'm struggling a little bit.
Hook is the hardest one.
It's a hard
That's
one.
why I just chucked the Iron Man in there.
Yeah, I think Hooker, because you want someone. For some reason, I've just got Wolverine in my head
It's not a bad one.
Because he's relentlessly tough, adamantium bones and things like that.
He's
surprisingly heavy,
blunt as well. Doesn't like he just wants to get his work done.
Yeah,
reminds me a bit of Dane Coles. Probably a bit of a prick.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think but you also want someone with line out throw accuracy,
and he's probably popping the ball.
Yeah, with his claws. So maybe not. Just trying to think who would be someone that would be good that's very accurate in there. Hawkeye, he's probably better in the back,
he's
with
a bit
kicking.
Small,
he's probably better at year 10 for kicking 10, and things
15,
like that.
That's not a bad.
Yeah, I might come back to that one.
Yep.
Look, for Mr. Fantastic, I can't dispute that one. Yep. That's
we'll both have
you just
teams.
can't get rid of that one. God, the rest of these I'm really struggling. I haven't had that much time to think about it. Let's see, what do we got? What's our different properties? Look, I think you made a good point with your 7. You want him to be a god, or you want him to be everything. I think the closest fictional character to a god is Superman. So I'd probably put
Superman. That's
Superman
not bad. And a little C next to his name, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Leader on the team. Laser eyes, so he can cut opponents in half. Literally.
Yeah. I like that.
Great. Number 8. Number 8. That's another good one. I'm thinking number 8. I might go Captain America.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was thinking 10 for him, but again, I wasn't sold, or a center's position could be a good 12.
Yeah. So I was thinking of Captain America at 8.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty good one. My 6. You had a good one with the Hulk at 6, but do you know who beats the absolute shit out of the Hulk? Thanos.
Oh yeah,
Thanos at 6.
You're going with a bad guy. You want some dirt on there.
Absolutely.
We've always said you always need that.
You need that bastard.
You need that bastard, and that Thanos is a bastard.
Yeah. Now, this next one for my number 5 might surprise you, right? But I'm pretty happy with this one. For my number 5, I've gone with Ant-Man. Right, because he can boost himself for the lineup, but then he can get small as well, weave in and out of traffic and everything like that.
That's a good shout.
When he goes into tackle as well, he does that thing where he shrinks slightly and then he gets bigger and he gets more force behind his tackles as well, so he can really put the hurt on someone. Adaptable to all situations. He can be whatever size player you need him to be.
That's a good lock.
Yeah.
That's a good lock.
So that's my 8. So to run through them again, if I can remember them.
Yep.
Right. 1 was the Juggernaut. 2 was Wolverine. 3 was the Mountain from Game of Thrones. 4, Mr. Fantastic. I think that's a good one. 5, Ant-Man. 6, Thanos. 7, Superman. 8, Captain America.
It's not a bad team.
Yeah.
Love to see those two squads go at it.
Yeah.
We'll put it in our story and
then
vote on it.
look. I think some other good ones for the back line. I think Hawkeye in there at 10 as your goal kicker. Will never miss a goal.
Yeah.
You can absolutely never miss a goal.
Flash on the wing.
Yeah, flash on the wing. Look, someone to crash it through the centers. I actually think Iron Man would be a good center because he's creative as well. He brings that.
Batman's got to be in there somewhere.
Batman, I feel like he could be in there. Wonder Woman, I think this could be a gender diverse team as well.
Not?
Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel, I think, could be a couple of really good ones in there.
Spider-Man. It'd be
Spider-Man,
a good little halfback.
Spider-Man could be a good halfback, but he could also be a very good fullback, just because he's got sticky hands, so he'll always catch the ball.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Some good ones we've missed. I've just looked up. Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Bane.
Yeah, Bane would be a good forward.
King Kong.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, you need to be able to get down to human size. I feel like at least Ant-Man, Mr. Fantastic, they can get down to roughly.
Hercules.
Hercules is pretty good.
There was another one. Oh, Hagrid. We're talking about Harry Potter.
Yeah, Hagrid might be just a little bit too slow for at this stage.
Snorlax is definitely getting around the park for me.
Yeah. Look, Snorlax when enraged moves fast. I just think I don't know if Hagrid can get
can never get up to that speed. I like it. I like it. So yeah, those are our fictional 4-packs. We'll probably bring our fictional backline to you next week.
Yeah.
Back onto the real rugby. Australia.
We got one win.
We
got two. Well, yeah, we got one win in rugby, which is the World Cup, which is the Hong Kong Sevens.
Hong Kong Sevens, a massive victory. Considered the biggest biggest Sevens tournament in the world. And yeah, you guys kicked it off with a win, a very good win over Fiji in the last minute. We were actually in the same pool, and we both lost to Samoa, and so then we lost to you in the last game of our pool game. You guys went through to the quarters. I think you managed to take out Ireland in the quarters. And then, semis with Samoa, Fiji, and then you guys managed to crack Fiji in the final. First time in 26 years, I read, that you won the Hong Kong Sevens, so that's a massive... Your Sevens programs are killing it, aren't you? Yeah. The women's took it out, the men took it out last year, and then... to start off with a Hong Kong Sevens win is a huge statement. Yeah, massive win for the Sevens lads there. So, yeah, very, very pleased. Not much else to say, really. Very pleased. Yeah. I guess there's not a lot else happening in the rugby world. Like, it's all international rugby. I do know the Queensland Reds had a game against Japanese club rugby. They've done their Japanese tour with same as the Western Force, so they've taken players over there, taken a deep squad consisting of some Queensland rugby talent and obviously the Western Force, Perth rugby talent. I think Queensland won, Perth Force lost, but again, these are all just more pre-season games to tick over. For the All Blacks, actually, TJ Perenara has been called back into the All Blacks squad with Brad Weber and Lester Whanganuku going down to the All Blacks XV, which we didn't comment on, and I'm going to quickly comment on. We beat the Irish. Yes. Does it count as the first teams? No, but we smashed you on your own turf. It felt a little bit better. Sean Stevenson, who didn't originally make the All Blacks XV, is incredible. Now, I know there was talk about the Dolphins signing him, and obviously Wayne Bennett has his hands all over that. I'm glad he hasn't gone because he's another All Black bolter for the World Cup next year. He is unreal. I think that's the most of it. I don't think I want to comment is the Waratahs released their squad today, 2023 squad. I did see this, yes. I just want to read out the back row to you. Consider this back row. Lockie Swinton, Michael Hooper, Will Harris, Ned Hannigan, Langai Gleeson, and Charlie Gamble. You know what's crazy as well with that? They've got Jed Holloway as a lock. Yeah. And I'm like, Jed Holloway's playing for the Wallabies as a 6. So you're, realistically, you're stacked. You are stacked. Yeah, it's great. It's a good looking squad for next year. I mean, even like we discussed it when you guys were in trouble. You had Poriki, and when Poriki eventually gets an injury spell, which he will get. Like let's not dance around that he is injury prone, but whenever he's on the field, he performs. To bring Tolu Latu back in, I looked at that front row and I was like, that's a good front row, very similar to what you had last year. This Tom Lambert will be interesting because he's realistically taking Paddy Ryan's spot, which we kind of talked about. Your locks, you were fine there, especially that you'll probably end up playing Hannigan and Holloway and to start there. What is really interesting is obviously Jack Bowen, youngster. I know he just played in like the under 19s or 21s for New South Wales from the eastern suburbs, looks really good. Yeah. Your centres, Joey Walton, who we discussed playing for the Bay of Plenty and he had a very, very good season as they made the semi-finals. So he'll be looking to get a season under his belt with Fiketi, Parisi coming back. I haven't heard about this Moses Tuipulotu, but again, I'd assume it'd be good. And then your outside backs, I don't think we have to worry too much. Peach, Marky Mark, Ndolo obviously back, and Kirtley Beale, and then we've got Max Jorgensen. Who was the player? He played last year, and he played a lot of games. Alex Newsom. Yeah. He's a big loss. He's probably the one player there. I look at the back line and I go, they've got a utility backs of Harry Wilson and Will Harrison, who Will Harrison we all know about. But that's really funny. Newsom, yeah. Harry Wilson and Will Harrison. That is, that's good. Do you reckon they played that just to do that? Yeah, maybe just to put them together. I also wanted to touch base just quickly before we leave. I did a combined Anzac XV. I don't know if you watched the video for it. You can say you didn't because it's all right, mate.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what the team was because I can remember it off by heart, I think. Number 1 was Ethan de Groot. This is selecting it if we were to select it right now. Number 2 was Samasoni Takiehau. 3, Alan Alatoa. 4 and 5, Brodie and Sam Whitelock. 6, Rob Valentini. 7, Michael Hooper. 8, Artie Savia.
Yep.
9 and 10, Aaron Smith, Richie Mwanga. Korobeti one wing, Will Jordan the other wing, Geordie Barrett fullback, Karevi and Ioane in the centres.
That centre pairing
is so... Oh, that sounds deadly. I had on the bench Pariki, Slipper, Tupou.
Yeah.
I had Scott Barrett, and I was iffy about that one. I know someone in the comment section said, how do you select him over Skelton and Arnold? If I can see Skelton and Arnold in Wallabies jerseys more, I can't pick off their form in Europe because I don't see it. So that's the only reason I went there. I went Pete Samu as the back row reserve. I went Tate McDermott over Nick White, which could be controversial. And then I went Leonard Brown and Bowden Barrett on the bench. So it was a 13-10 split.
Yeah.
And I thought was very well done. And then I read the quite possibly worst ever one I've ever seen Rugby Pass put up that was done by Le French Rugby Podcast. Now, if you ever thought that was going to be bad, listen to this. All right? So, James Slipper, Cody Taylor, Taniela Tupou. All right, we're good there. Fine. Yeah. Rory Arnold, Sam Whitelock. Okay, now you've kind of already fucked up because the 2 best locks are Brodie Retallick and Sam Whitelock. But hey, this is where it gets really interesting. Now, they've gone Artie Savia at 6, Michael Hooper at 7, D. Wilson, which I'm assuming is Harry Wilson at 8.
Yeah.
Who...
I was going to say, I don't recognise D.
D. Wilson. Harry Wilson is barely even making the Wallaby squad at the moment, so I was like, okay. Smith and Moanga at 9 and 10. Tom Wright and Caleb Clark are your wingers, which is all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they're like one down on the depth chart. This is like the Anzac A team.
Exactly. Well, listen to this. Hunter Pasami is a 12.
No.
Iwani at 13 and Bowden Barrett. So no Geordie Barrett, which is just insane. So... I don't know. I just saw that and I said I had to let you know this and just be like,
no, that's Look, it's like what I said last week. We sort of know what we're getting out of Hunter Paisami now. We know where his ceiling sort of is, and it's a good ceiling, but it's not where we need it to be. It's not the level of Karevi. I think Fiketti has got more potential.
It's so guttering that he got injured.
Yeah, exactly.
So guttering he's going to miss the rest of the tour.
Yeah. Look, I'm very interested to see how the Wallabies pick next year for the World Cup. Like the centres is such a it's a deep position in that a lot of players are all around the same talent level. I think so much of it's going to be decided by injury and everything like that. But I think probably injury even more so than form. Karevi is just such a beast. He's just such a beast.
You forget how beastly. Like I forgot how beastly he was until I watched that England series, and I was like, God damn, man! Like, always breaks the first tackle, always makes meters. It's like,
we need, he and Karabetti, Foley, 3 Giddo, 3 of our Giddo little players.
You just need to get rid of it, man. Like,
I know we do.
I saw another article today being like, what if Brazil went to the Football World Cup and could only select players playing?
I know, it's ridiculous.
Like 3 players, like, I don't get it. Like, I just truly
Argentina without Messi, Portugal without Ronaldo. You know.
Yeah, it's mental because it's not even like I read it. The article I read was talking about because it was talking about the Anzac XV and how Dave Rennie was kind of like, I'm not really too worried about that. We'll come to that when that time comes.
Yeah,
and he's obviously had a couple of issues with the ghetto rule, and I think eventually this is going to boil over pre-World Cup, and Dave Rennie's going to go, either I can select as many as I want for the World Cup or I walk.
Yeah.
Type thing. Because his record, his name has been smeared because he can't select the best team constantly year round.
It's ridiculous. Like the fact that we're having to juggle players around like this, like Will Skelton's got hardly any time in a Wallabies jersey because of it and things like that. Like think about how many years of his career out of a Wallabies jersey have gone because of this stupid law. So yeah, I know.
I think it's a matter of time. I think it's going to be a when, not if situation.
Yeah, the only thing though with that is is that I hope it's not after the World Cup. Like, I hope it's not as a result of a devastating loss in the World Cup and everyone just thinking like, oh, well, if we didn't have the Gillar law, we could have gone further. And then Rugby Australia's like, yeah, look, we really considered it, and so we're going to get rid of it now. And it's like, yeah, that's great. It's just fucking late. You're too late. Yeah,
you've put yourself 4 years back.
Yeah, exactly. Another 4 years. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like now, yeah, just change it. Just change it now.
Change it now. It doesn't. Anzac, we're here again. I'm here for you. I reckon change it. I want to play the best Australian team in the Bledisloe Cup. I don't want to be beating a team with just free, imports, as we'll say that they are, But, yeah, it blows my mind. But, hey, the Anzacs are back again. You guys have got Italy. I believe we've got Scotland this week. The big game is the France versus South Africa one.
Yeah.
What do you reckon your result between you and Italy will be?
Scoreline? Well, I mean, the result will be a win for Australia. It should be
a fucking disaster. It wasn't.
Yeah, it should be anyway. Scoreline, 35-15, I think.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I reckon you got more attacking flair than that. I'm gonna go. You put 50 on them. I'm gonna go like 50-20.
Yeah, I just don't want to downplay the Italians too much.
I don't either, but I'm going to. So 50-20. They can score some points. They showed that, but I don't think they'll be able to defend against a better team. For us, we beat Scotland, I think, by 3 tries, the way I saw them play against the Fijians. Excellent.
Yeah. Cool.
Podcast done.
Yep, very nice.
Thank you for joining us again on That Rugby podcast. We will be back again next week. Myself, the All Blacks fan, Hughesy, the Wallabies fan, up the Anzacs, revenge tour.
Hashtag revenge.
Hashtag revenge.
Hashtag do it for the ice cream.
See you later.
Peace.